What is going on, guys? It has been like a long time, 3 months exactly since I've posted a video. There's been so much content coming out over the last month or so since BlizzCon and everything that there's a lot for me to dive into and like get you guys some information about, which you might probably already know. But just in case you don't, here's a video directly for Fire Mages. No Arcane, no Frost. So if you're Arcane and you're Frost, I'm sorry. Not going to cover it in this video. Going to be totally covering Fire Mage stuff because that's where my heart's at, and I really don't even care about the other specs. But today I'm going to give you guys some cool talent calculator stuff that's come out for Legion for Fire Mages. So let's just get started. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is our 15 level talents. Just to let you guys know, there is still Dragon's Breath. It's not been on there like data mine, but like Dragon's Breath is totally still a thing. It freaked me out and I panicked for a while, but I'm okay. The first talent in our 15-row choice is going to be Pyromaniac. Casting Pyroblast while Hot Streak is active has a 50% chance to instantly reactivate Hot Streak. That is an awesome talent. Fantastic. Can't get enough of it. I love it. That so far, that one's got me going. Conflagration. Enemies affected by Ignite have a chance to flare up for 3 seconds. While flared up, nearby enemies take 1 fire damage each second. I could see this being really good in like RBGs or something like that, just a little bit of extra damage, especially when you're tight knit together, man. You can just spread Ignites and just spread flare-ups and just murder. Another talent that actually could be really good in Fire Mage for RBGs is Fireball has a % chance to chain to nearby ignited targets. Now, depending on the chance that it actually has, if it has a really high chance to, like, if you have a bunch of people with your ignite spreaded on them, and because it jumps every 2 seconds, your ignite spreads to someone else. So if you have everyone, just imagine like with ignite on them, and you just fireball and you just spam fireballs, you're just fireballing everything. So I can see that being good, but for the time being, I think I'm going to go with Pyromaniac. It just seems really too good. 50% chance to just spam Pyroblast, I can't beat that. So next we're going to look at our level 30 talents. Now this one I wish was so passive, but I guess it's just too OP. It's called Shimmer. When you take damage, there's a 30% chance for the cooldown of Blink to be reset. This effect cannot occur more than once every 30 seconds. That's still pretty cool. I think it might be good, but as you guys can see, Ice Block is on the same talent tree, so I think we're going to be screwed here. I think we're just going to have to go with the only talent that seems to be making the most sense. So as we continue, I'll shed a little light on that. Cauterize. Fatal damage will instead bring you to 35% max health, and then burn you for 28% of your max health over 6 seconds. While burning, your movement speed is suppressed, and you move at 150% speed. So you pretty much have blazing speed for 6 seconds. It cannot occur more than once every 2 minutes. It's just like Fire Mage. Cauterize was really good in Kata, but I just don't see it being a talent that I would choose. The next talent is Ice Block. 2 charges. You become encased in a block of ice, protecting you from all damage and attacks for 10 seconds. But during this time, you cannot attack. Causes hypothermia, preventing you to recasting Ice Block for 30 seconds. You just got to give it to Ice Block here. It's just too good of a spell. Like, I can't see the other talents being as good when you just pretty much have to have Ice Block. So we're going to go with Ice Block for that one. Now is our level 45 talents. Now the 45 talents are pretty cool. I'm kind of excited about it, and I'll let you know why. The first one we have is Mirror Images. Mirror Images are the same as it's always been. Copies 3 copies of the caster nearby, which cast spells and attack the mage's enemy, lasts 40 seconds on a 2-minute cooldown. Next is Rune of Power. Never really liked this talent. I guess it's good in PvE, but for PvP, you're never going to stand still. So place a Rune of Power on the ground for 3 minutes, which increases your spell power by 15% while you stand on it, while you stand within 8 yards. So it's a little different now. So if you're within 8 yards of it, you can place 2 runes of power at one time. So maybe that's not as bad. Maybe that could be good. Ice Flows. Your next mage spell will be cast by moving. Castable while moving, and another spell is in progress and unaffected by global cooldown. Okay, so that's actually pretty cool. But as fire, you're pretty much got instants. You're looking at getting your pyros. You're running around popping scorch. I think we're going to go with mirror images here. I think it's just going to be a flat DPS increase. Rune of Power may be good too, since you don't have to stand on top of it and you can stand within 8 yards. Ice flows, I don't really see a point for ice flows as fire, but I think mirror images is going to be the best bet to go with here. Now this one, I'm torn. I'm so torn, dudes, and you might be torn too after I let you guys know what the level 60 talents are. The first was an Incanter's Flow, which everyone's been using right now. It's so good. Magical energy flows through you while you're in combat, building up to 20% increased damage and diminishing down to 4% increased damage, cycling every 10 seconds. This one right here is so good. Flame On. When activated, grants 2 charges of Inferno Blast, so you essentially get to every 30 seconds, get to control your own pyro. You can make sure you get a pyro. I think this one's really cool. Now this one right here, I love. I absolutely love. When you gain heating up, there's a chance to instantly go into hot streak. This chance is increased by your critical strike. So what this could mean is you could pop your combustion, which gives you a 100% crit chance. And if it's based on your critical strike chance, then you could just hit a pyro, like get an instant with your two Inferno Blasts, because there's 2 of Inferno Blasts now. They stack twice. So you pop both of those, you get your hot streak, you pop combustion, you hit a pyro, you instantly get another pyro. You hit another pyro, you get another pyro. For 10 seconds, you're just a pyro turret. So I think this is going to have... I'm going to try this out, and I hope it works. So for just that simple thing right there, I'm going with Controlled Burn. And Canter's Flow is going to be hard. I'm going to miss it, but Controlled Burn just has such good setup that could potentially happen if it works that way. Now is our level 75 talents. Now the first talent you're going to see here is Blast Wave. It's the same Blast Wave that we have on live, except it doesn't stack twice. There's only one of them. But Blast Wave is really good. It's a really good spell. It does a lot of damage. So let's just think about that for a moment, because that could be potentially one that you would go with. But if you're going against a Druid, you're going to have to go with Ring of Frost. Summons a Ring of Frost for 10 seconds at the target's location. Enemies enter the ring will be incapacitated for 10 seconds. Limits 10 targets. The same as it is now. It's just, Ring of Frost is really good, especially if you're trying to go on a Druid. You can't get those sheeps. You have to, like, Ring of Frost them. Blast Wave would be hard to miss, but, like, come on. They're making us, they're pretty much making us choose here. Like, there's nothing you can do. Ice Ward Frost Nova has 2 charges. Just so you guys know, Frost Nova's back. Whenever you click in the Living Bomb, it does not replace Frost Nova, so you still have a Frost Nova. I think Frost Nova having 2 charges is kind of, like, useless. I don't really see it being a huge, like, it's whatever, because it's going to be DR'd the second time whenever you can have a powerful spell. So I'm personally going to say for BGs and stuff like that, and if I'm not going against the Druid, I'm going Blast Wave, but if I'm going against the Druid and I'm going to have to CC the Druid, I'm going to have to go Ring of Frost. So, our level 90 talents. We've got 3 pretty cool talents here, but I'm excited mostly because there's a potential to have Living Bomb and Blast Wave, and that's pretty cool because I've missed Living Bomb, especially since it used to be such an iconic spell. It's always been awesome, so I'm looking forward to maybe having the chance to play with Living Bomb again. Living Bomb. The target becomes a Living Bomb, taking a percentage of spell power, fire damage over 12 seconds. When the effect ends or the target dies, it explodes to deal additional damage, fire damage to all targets within 10 yards. And it can be spread by Inferno Blast. So Living Bomb's pretty epic. Unstable magic is the same as it is on live. For fire, it's a 30% chance for your fireballs to explode on impact, dealing 50% damage to the target and all other enemies within 8 yards. So you could, like, use unstable magic with conflagration and just destroy BGs. Oh my gosh. Anyways, Flame Patch. Flame Strike ignites the ground that is cast on, leaving a patch of fire behind, which continues to burn enemies for an X% per second for the next 15 seconds. Does not stack. I don't know. Like, you'd have to do some kind of messing around, because Flame Strike may be good, because now you can get an instant pyro and you can actually use it for Flame Strike instead. But I don't know how many people are going to really use it for a Flame Strike. Maybe because it slows, it's a good idea to maybe put up once. But for the most part, you're just going to be chunking pyros. So, for me, I'm going Living Bomb, most likely. It's going to be really dependent, but I'm probably going to go Living Bomb just because it'll be nice to have. Now, for our level 100 talents, as you can see, Kindling is still here. And this could actually be a really good talent for the simple fact that Fireball and Pyroblast and Inferno Blast critical strikes cost the cooldown on remaining on combustion by 1 second. So they reduce the cooldown on combustion by 1 second. Combustion's 100% crit, so the more often you can do that, the more often you can do some heavy bursts and do that controlled burn setup I was talking about. So Kindling could be really good. It just depends, like, I'm not sure, like, it's just really, it's a really convincing talent to want to make you choose. The next is Cinderstorm. This is a new talent too. Throw a spread of 6 cinders that travel in an arc. Each deal 50% of spell power or fire damage to enemy targets. It's on an 8-second cooldown. You can use it a lot. It may be good. I'm going to have to do some testing with it if I get into beta, or maybe if I get someone else into beta, they can do testing, and we'll see how good that does. If it does a moderate amount of damage, it could actually be good. But Kindling still is kind of taking the cake so far. And then we have Meteor, which is the same as it is on live right now. Summons a big meteor which lands on the target after 3 seconds, dealing a percentage of spell power, which fire damage, split evenly between all targets within 8 yards, almost burns the ground, dealing another percentage of spell power and fire damage every 1 second for 8 seconds to enemies in that area. So I'm probably going to go with Kindling, maybe Meteor. I don't know. I'm just going to say Kindling for right now, because the more often I can do that big fat burst, the more often I'll be happy. But these are all the talent choices that I've got for you today. Check out my next video, which I'm going to be covering the PvP talents for Fire Mages. If you haven't checked them out, be sure to come back and check that out, because there are some epic PvP talents for Fire Mages. And I think you guys are going to be really interested in seeing some of those, and I think you'll enjoy them. But I hope this video was somewhat informative. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed looking at this beautiful beard and this fat man sitting in a chair that plays World of Warcraft. But I will catch you guys on the flip side, and as always, keep the fire burning. Sparknutz out.